हेलो एंड वेलकम टू चाणक्य। आप सबसे मिलकर बहुत खुश हैं। That's an after effect. My apologies. That's an after effect of my Urdu classes. Yeah, you heard it right. It's Urdu. For all of you who thought it's Hindi, you're in for a surprise. This video is going to throw a lot of light around the Hindi language and our perceptions, which we have built or have been imposed on us over a period of time. Let's get to more details. This topic will be a surprise and it will kindle the interest of many people across the globe. The reason being, we're going to talk about one of the powerful languages that we are using that is being used as an official language in India, which is Hindi. Now, before we get to the details of what is Hindi, let's have a quick look at how the Indic languages of India, have originated. Now, India is home to more than 120 or 150, I'm not sure, but more than 100 languages which are spoken as mother tongue by many people across India. Now, all these Indic languages, they fall under the Indo-European family of categorizing languages. Now, one of the oldest languages of the Indo-European family is Sanskrit. The period of Sanskrit, if we have to, go back and find out, approximately you can date it back to 1st century or even 2nd century BCE. Want to call out few of the Indic languages that are spoken even today, though they are called differently. Those Indic languages are from the roots of Bharat and they are spoken even today as mother tongues. We must have heard this term, gaon ki bhasha bolte hai, which means I'm speaking the language of the village. That is your Indic language. Some of them are Awadhi, Bhojpuri, Maithili, Sindhi, Santali, Badga. Badga is spoken around the regions of Nilgiris. Thulu on the coastal regions of Karnataka, and many such languages. Now, if we have to talk about the strength of languages, there are stronger languages in the southern part of India, predominantly language like Tamil, which is as old or even older than Sanskrit itself. There is still a debate going on. I don't want to get into that. Okay, so I believe it is even older than Sanskrit itself. So such languages are found, which are also Indic languages, which are in the southern part of the country. Some of the languages in the southern part, like, most of you might know, Tamil, Malayalam, Andhra, Kannada, Telugu, these languages. Now, there is one commonality between all of the Indic languages that are spoken in India. If you're wondering what it is Sanskrit. Now, why do I say Sanskrit? The reason is here, very simple. It's like any language will have adaptations or words which we have, got from other languages. Any language would do. English got many of its words from Latin, and Latin got some of its words, or a lot of its words from Sanskrit. Malayalam has a combination of a lot of words from Sanskrit and Tamil. Now, coming to just Indian languages, right? Sanskrit has its words, or Sanskrit has its presence in almost many or all of the Indic languages which are spoken in this land. Now, Tamil will be an exception again. The reason I'm talking is, don't think I'm a Tamilian, that's why I'm telling this. But, I strongly believe any facts linked should come out. So that's the only reason. Tamil too have Sanskrit words, but if you try to take them out, still the language will be complete, which means if a language cannot survive without the words that it got from other languages, then we don't call it a complete language. Now, Sanskrit is a language which can stand tall without any other language's influence. Same as Tamil. which can stand tall without the influence of any other language. Now, these are Indic languages which have their own roots and which are very, very unique and special. Now, why do I say Sanskrit can be a linking language? The reason is, I'll take an example of Malayalam. Before Malayalam, we have to understand a language called Manipravalam. Manipravalam was spoken in the region, in the southern part of India, during the period of Pallava rule. Approximately, if you ask me, I would say it's the southern part of Andhra Pradesh, today's Andhra Pradesh, and the northern part of today's Tamil Nadu, the region around that, where the Pallava dynasty ruled. Manipravalam was a language which was spoken during the Pallava reign, and Manipravalam is nothing but a direct combination of Sanskrit and Tamil. Now, one of the languages which is spoken today, which is closer to Manipravalam, is Malayalam. Malayalam is a very close adaptation of Manipravalam. Now, this is a very interesting topic and a rabbit hole. I don't want to get into the details, but as of now, for our understanding, I just gave an example. So we'll have an overview, or we'll have an understanding that a language which can be an Indic language that can be used as a connecting language. Now let's come back to Hindi. Now, Hindi, where did Hindi come from? I just went to do my research on this topic, and I was surprised, or rather shocked, to find two important aspects based on which I'm constructing this video. The first thing is, as many of us think, Hindi is not an Indic language. It's not an OT. It's not an Indic language. Second, Hindi language has been systematically used to systematically eradicate some of the Indic languages of India and also to depopularize them. Now, let's get to the first point of how I came to the conclusion that Hindi is not an Indic language. Many of us might not know that today's Hindi that we are speaking is a direct adaptation from a local dialect which was spoken around Delhi, and it's called Khari Boli. Khari Boli has been modified. Any language gets modified over a period of time, but that modified version of Khari Boli is what we are using today as Hindi. And we are writing that in Devanagari script. Now, this is another tricky aspect. So the reason many of us think if you know Sanskrit, you can pick up Hindi easily, it's a myth. Both the languages are no way related. You know why many of us have that myth? It's because of the script. Both the languages are written in Devanagari script. Now, script, what is script? Script is nothing but a way of writing something. I'm talking to you in English now. Now, whatever I'm talking, I can write in Tamil, whatever I am talking. Not only in Tamil, my mother tongue is Tamil, so I'm calling out an example of Tamil. You can write the same in Devanagari script. Does that mean I'm speaking Hindi? No, I'm speaking English. Similarly, Sanskrit can be written in Devanagari script. Urdu or Persian can also be written in Devanagari script. Let's get to the point. Hindi was popularized by the Persian invaders who got into Bharat, or Hindustan as it was called. Hindustan itself means the land of rivers. That was the name which was originally given to us by the invaders from Persia. Now, when they came in here, they started popularizing their language, which was Persian. Persian, if you write in, if you write in the native script, it's called Urdu. If you write it in Devanagari script, it is called Hindi. Can you believe it? Yeah, that's what it is. So basically, we are writing Urdu in Devanagari script and calling it Hindi. That's it. Now, how did they do it? Let's get to some history. Okay, so when they first invaded India, they tried to popularize. They got hold of Delhi and they tried to popularize any Indic languages that was spoken around Delhi in those times. Mostly it was Awadhi, because it was all the region of Oudh. It was Awadhi. So what they did was they started mixing up Persian with the local dialects, and they formed the Kariboli language. And it was not only called as Kariboli, it was also later modified and called as Hindavi. Some people call it Dehalvi, and in many names. You can find references of the Hindavi language in the famous writings of Sufi poet Amir Khusro. Now, he was super expert in softening Kariboli to Hindi by mixing up more, more words. So that's why it evolves, and when it evolves, it picks a name, and that's how it goes on. We can clearly make out from these that Hindi is definitely a non-Indic language. Okay, now it's not a native language. The first part is done. Let's get to the second part, or the second question, or the second point that raised my curiosity. Why was Hindi popularized? Mughals, I can understand. Mughals had their own intentions. They came in as to rule us, or to rule Hindustan, to rule India, as we call it today. So they tried. Anyone, when you fight, they try to do that. But why did the British do it? Here is an interesting link, or interesting reason as to why the British did it. Because British were the people who wrote much of the grammar for Hindi. Hindi was popularized basically because Kariboli, or the native Persian languages itself, it came into existence only between 16th century to 18th century. When the British took over after 1857, they found most of the administration, or works or accounts and many other things, important notes, the administrative notes, their land deeds and everything, in Persian or in Urdu. So they couldn't manage with it. Now they could get work, or they could get people in India to translate it for them. So they popularized, because people were able to speak the language, but they don't know to write the language. So because that's how initially it develops, right? We pick languages, we speak it easily. We speak languages easily when we pick a new language, but writing it is difficult. Now, writing Urdu is all the more difficult, because you got to, we tend to write from left to right. They write it the other way, right to left. So it's a very, very difficult language, and it has got its own heritage. So what the British told was, but we were comfortable with Devanagari script. So they actually popularized Hindi. And speaking of Hindi, because they thought it could be a connecting language, and they definitely needed a connecting language. So the British had their own reasons for popularizing Devanagari script, or popularizing Hindi written, or Urdu written in Devanagari script, which is Hindi. Now, is this the only issue? No. Let us call this out. In 1961, the percentage of people speaking Hindi was 30%. Now that number became 43% in 2011. And this did not definitely happen by more number of people speaking the language. Yeah, you heard me right. The count increased not because more number of people started speaking Hindi. The count increased because more number of people who are speaking Indic languages are being recorded as Hindi speakers. To be more precise, say for example, if a person is speaking Awadhi, it gets recorded as the person's language or mother tongue is Hindi, not as Awadhi. Right? So that was one of the key points, or the key reasons as to how the percentage of people speaking Hindi became more in India. Now, what is the problem in it? Wait, what do I have to talk so much? It's just a language. Language just means it's a medium of communication. If a medium of communication is in a foreign language, is in a different language, What does it matter? Now, we are speaking foreign language. English is definitely a foreign language. How does it matter? It matters. It matters. Even the popularity of English in India matters. The reason is Bharat has a tradition. We have our roots dating back to thousands and thousands of years. So, with such a rich heritage, when we allow or when we rather adopt non-Indic languages as our connecting language, it will slowly destroy the cultural heritage, the scientific knowledge, the researchers, the mathematical equations or whatnot. It is tied. It is not, language is not just a medium of communication alone. It's a medium of expression. It's a medium of thought. It is the medium in which our ancestors have left behind their findings which would be useful to us. Now, when you adopt a non-Indic language and popularize it, slowly, all these important scriptures or important documentations of our ancestors, scientific knowledges, everything is going to get lost. I know many of you might have opinions against what I'm speaking now, but even one of the key arguments that I hear in many places is that Hindi language was recommended by the constitution. The Hindi language was propagated by Mahatma Gandhi ji because he was the founder of Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha. So I'm not trying to paint a language black or white. I'm just calling out facts around the language, and I'm leaving you with the question, do we need a non-Indic language to be our connecting language? Thanks for watching Chanakya. Stay tuned for further updates on national trends.